If you want to vote on the show that I'm going to be watching now that I have completed Death Note, you can go to the community tab on my channel and you can cast a vote. If any of these shows on screen right now interest you, these are the ones that I kind of put up. Feel free to head over there and leave a vote. We'll be starting sometime soon, so make sure you get your vote in. What's up? I'm Grizz. Welcome. Episode 11, Hyouka. I believe we're finale of this arc. We're finally going to get our answers and we're going to figure some shit out. I overlooked like everything last episode. So that's on me. And I don't know, I'm just excited to kind of see what they're going to get into here. I really don't have even a prediction as to where to begin here, but I'm very excited. Chitanda wants to talk to us, so we got to go do that, I'm assuming. We have to figure out how this rope and this blood was used, and specifically what Hongo wanted, I guess. And if Ariki's going to kind of be broken down here because he kind of jumped the gun and assumed he was getting everything right, as after he was literally reassured that things are gonna, you know, he has special abilities to do this type of stuff. So I'm curious to see kind of how they're gonna progress this a bit further. If you like it, I'll hit the like and subscribe. They do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode or series. Let's get going to episode 11. We have to feature the rope. Right. You wouldn't be so specific about these things just for them to not be used. Yeah. You're not. You're not. Man is broken. He's like, what the fuck do I do now? Credit roll of fools. I think he made it fit him, yeah. Snap back in it, buddy. What do you look like, a mess? Yup. But you got it wrong, bro. It was his idea. Yeah. And everybody's disappointed in a way. Crazy dark shading all around him too, bro. You gotta be better, bro. The ones that you're familiar with, sir. You paid fucking attention, you would know. See, what am I supposed to read here? What the fuck is this? Now I gotta go back. I have no clue what's happening. Alright. We're gonna have some fucking problems, dude. Yeah. Just admit it, dude. He can't face it now, dude. This is really fun. Like, I actually love the direction of this. Hello. Oh. She looks so upset. I was bored with your decision there. You're better than that. All three of them about to be on him about this, dude. That's gonna kill him, especially from her. Yep. But what do I do? She's like such a fresh outside perspective on all this. How cute. Yeah. Yeah, because everybody just ignored her. I said that like 3 videos ago. I said if she was such good friends with her, how come she hasn't gone and asked her or seen her or said anything about this?
脚本の見通しを最後まで持ってたと思うんです。途中で倒れたとしても聞くことはできたと思います。ゴーさんは誰にもトリックを話さなかったんじゃないでしょうか。
It's like it's a test, bro.
いえ、
Nah, I mean,
気の弱い方のように思いました。
see, I don't think that's the
私も考え
case.
ました。ですがクラスの皆さんはいい人です。本郷さんの案の出来を糾弾するとは思えません。
A couple of them aren't fine. Yeah, I don't know. You were a little fucked up during that. You don't remember.
と志半ばで筆を折った本郷さんの無念が、叫びが隠されていると思うんです。
All right, settle down. Settle down.
それに答えてくれません
They
で
didn't.
した。私があれを気に入っていないように見えたなら、きっとそれが理由です。
Okay, well, we gotta go ask Evan now because nobody wants to for some reason. There's people involved, brother man. The feelings of others.
さて、犯人はこの中にいます。俺は脚本に本郷という人間の気持ちが込められているなんて考えもしなかった。まったく大した探偵役だ。
でもオレキさんを責めているんじゃありま
Starts
せん。
to,
とっても驚きました。
but he starts putting the blame on himself
本
here.
郷さんの考えとは。
脚本家を引き受けたわけじゃない。
What? Were you? I sure hope you weren't.
俺は見事に間違ったっては合理的に考えれば無駄な時間。省エネじゃない。
Yeah, but you haven't taken that approach this whole time, so it's okay now. Yeah, you want to do this. Stop lying to yourself. He's gonna find all his answers in here.
こんな本も持ってたのか。
Ah, back to these. Right back to these.
平等正義公平。ん、あながち間違ってない。
But
サトシが魔術師、好奇心、行動への衝動。なるほどな。
yeah, that's like a book, bro.
の強さ、闘志、絆。なんだこれは。全然一致してないだろう。
That don't
サトシはな
understand,
んで
bro.
これを俺だと。力は獰猛なライオンが優しい女性にコントロールされている絵に象徴される。
Yeah.
サトシのやつ。俺はあいつらにコントロールされているわけじゃない。招きにしてもチタンダにしてもイリスにしてもだ
Yeah.
な。
I don't know about that. I feel like you're being controlled by all of them, actually.
その意味から俺を暗示させたのか。実にサトシらしい。
It would
見
be.
方を変えたわ
Yeah?
け。見方を変える。
いいものに仕上がっただろう。
No.
君の協力のお
It
かげで
didn't.
ありがとう。そうだ、今度の土曜に打ち上げがあるんだが、君も参加しないか？
Is Hongo gonna be there? That's the only way I'm going.
イリス先輩、お話があります。
Well, you're doing that right now.
俺には技術があると言いましたね。
Yep.
確かに。
Well, now he rejects that idea.
言わせたいのか？推理という技術。
違うでしょう。俺は探偵じゃなく推理作家だったんじゃないですか。
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what it was.
ヒントは何だった？
The fact that you made him write the entire ending of the play.
本郷はトリックなんか眼中になかった。彼女はハッピーエンドを好み、悲劇。特に人が死ぬ話を嫌った。そう考え
Gotcha.
たとき、一つは血のりの少なさ、もう一つはアンケート結果のおかしさです。
アンケート結果？
死者数が100人以上、ありえないでしょう。クラスの人数は30人程度なのに。でも有効票だ。ではこの無効票とは何か。
死ぬ人数がゼロということだな。
この票は本郷が入れたものですね。
Yep.
彼女の脚本では死者が出ないはずだった。
さすがだな。
And they changed it because they didn't want that.
繰り返した。
Yeah.
本郷は撮影に不参加だったと聞いています。それに何より脚本にはカイトが死んだとは書かれていない。
Ah.
脚本と違っているから撮り直せとは言えなかった。
So she never even continued what she was doing, right?
では本郷は悪者になってしまう。だからあなたは本郷を病気にし、脚本を未完成にした。わかると俺たちまで巻き込んだ。
Gotcha. That would make
俺も
plenty.
自分が創作しているとは気づかなかった。
So it wasn't that Hongo couldn't come up with the ending and it needed somebody else in the original, I guess, thing that I was suspecting, but it was more of they basically abandoned her remaining ideas here. They decided to take it upon themselves and instead dragged us into it to kind of make this.
俺の創作物は本郷の脚本に代わり、彼女は傷つかずに済むという寸法です。違いますか？
から違うとは言っていない。
気にしない。あなたが見ているのは結論だけだ。違いますか？
それが何か？
では、俺に技術があると言ったのも全て本郷のためですか？
No.
誰でも自分を自覚すべきだと言ったあの言葉も嘘ですか？
心からの言葉ではない。それを嘘と呼ぶのは君の自由よ。
That's one way to get around the... That's a hell of a way to get around it. But he is pissed, dude. Dark outlines continue. Yeah, you're the puppet, brother. They looked right through you there. That poster was looking right through you. Oh no, not another one of these, dude. They go too quick. There's no way I can keep up with all this shit. Who's she talking to, though? Like that. That just... okay, whatever. Someone on the other side of the world? Huh. That's unnecessarily rude. Yeah, I got like nothing from that, I'll be honest. I hate when they do the text things because it's like constant, it moves too quick for me and I don't read quick enough.
なんだ。本郷さんの考えていた脚本がどんなものだったか、私。
You coming to me for answers, huh?
オレキさんもオレキさんらしくないですよ。
俺らしくないか。
じゃあ私らしく聞いてみます。本郷さんの脚本がどんなものだったか私気になります。オレキさん教えてください。
Just like that.
侵入経路は窓。
でも窓は
右側控え室の窓だ。2つあるがどっちでもいい。コーノスはザイルを使って侵入し、カイトを追いかけて刺す。死なない程度の一撃で。そしてまたザイルを使って2階に戻り、何かの顔でみんなと合流。
That's basically as Glasses Boy was saying, but without the death.
していた7人目は。
ああ、それなら未完成の時から出ている。
Not the camera person,
でもあの6
though?
人以外出てきてませんでしたよ。
キャストが役者だけとは限らない。ナレーターがいただろう。
I didn't even pick up that there was a narrator ever, I'll be honest.
本郷さんのお気持ちが少しだけわかるような気がしましたから。
そうか。
多分海藤さんは刺された後、鴻巣さんと話して自分を刺した理由を聞いたんです。そして鴻巣さんをかばうためそのまま返し、自分は上手袖へ行き、そこで倒れたんです。
あの部屋はガラスが散乱していた。
そういえばそうですね。
本郷が口を割るまで謎のままだ。
Right.
それは仕方ないですね。人を刺すわけ、自分を刺した人を逃がすわけ。それを本郷さんがどう描こうとしたのか。
That's why I wasn't complete. There's still much more to tell.
お前は探偵役全員の説に納得してなかった。いつものお前らしくない。本郷への共感だけが理由なのか？
ああ、なるほどです。笑わないでください。
She was a little too drunk to be on top of things there.
実は私も人の亡くなるお話は嫌いなんです。
お前らしいな。
The big takeaway from this arc is that Arisu's kind of a bitch. I think that's kind of what I'm getting at. I went back and I paused a lot and read through the specific scene with the online text and stuff, because I was saying throughout I literally can't keep up when they do that. I absolutely despise the multiple times that they've done that, because I cannot process what's going on in the moment. So I went back and I looked at that, and I even did the same for the conversation with Ariki and her in the back end to specifically understand it. And I can't say I fully understand it because I don't even know who the third person was they were talking to, because there's another person in there. But to me, it seems like she basically wanted to take, we talked about at the beginning when she came in, she was late to this, so everything kind of got assigned before she was really involved here. So then she came in and she took over the role, or she took over a role or wanted a role in some sort of way, and kind of was like, well, Hungo, your script's fucking ass, and I don't want this, you know, I don't want to deal with this, and I want to make something that's more interesting and people are going to be more into. So the easiest way I can let you down without actually telling you, or without actually making you feel bad in any sort of way, is kind of go along with what you got, but add little things and change it around that fits our narrative a bit more. And then at the end, use other people such as Ariki and everybody else that they were initially using to force them to basically write out the rest of the script, or find flaws and find these holes and stuff based on the way that things were set up, and allow us to come to a conclusion. That's kind of where I'm getting at with that, which makes me fully realize that she is a bitch for the way that she went about it, because instead of just being completely honest or not being so prideful, I guess, in the way of what she possibly could produce, or even, I guess, prideful in the way that she couldn't go out of her own way to kind of tell this other person that her shit wasn't up to par, or the way that they kind of wanted it, and she didn't like the way that the story was being written. She basically like manipulated all these other people into doing things to change this around, which is really fucked up. And manipulated, I mean more in a way of telling them one thing, such as, hey, you're going to be the detective in this situation, and then flipping the script completely, and realistically, you're just being a script writer. You're a fucking puppet at the end of the day. I don't fuck with her in the slightest. I don't like that at all. Maybe I got a really wrong read on her as a person, but I don't think I do. And I think that's really fucked up. Also, the person she was referring to about being on like the other side of the world or something, is that Ariki's sister, or is that somebody completely else? Because I find it hard to believe it's somebody that we haven't been introduced to yet, because that wouldn't make any sense in my opinion for them, because it's similarly to the rules that we had to believe that we were following in some sort of way with this play or this film that we were making, right? And you don't want to introduce somebody that's like involved in some sort of way here that you actually haven't introduced into the story yet. So she's the only one I can think of, and we know she's on the other side of the world, so I think that would make sense. So if that's the case, she's kind of a bitch too for forcing, you know, her brother into doing these things and allowing him to be used and get angry and frustrated and rethink everything and make his head all in a knot, right? So they leave me very unhappy. We gotta be honest with that. Regarding the actual like episode though, and like mystery itself, I can't say I like loved the conclusion that we came to, but I don't dislike it at all. And I think I'm overall satisfied by what we came to. The more so thing that I enjoy was the breaking down the character of Ariki, breaking down this person who you kind of tell is special or can do these certain things, and then put him in a position here where he starts realizing, you know, the one time I go out of my comfort zone, the one time I try, the one time I want to do something, I'm failing at this point, and he completely crumbles and falls apart to a certain extent, until he's able to kind of rebuild himself up to a point, I guess, that he can kind of confront her at the end, and then be able to just chill out a little bit and have his conversation with Chitanda. But I thought that stuff was really fascinating, the different ways that they were kind of portraying him, and allowing him to kind of not have this success in a way, the typical, oh, smart guy is going to be able to solve things because he's smarter than everybody, right? But be able to introduce other characters. Hey, these other people are smart. They might not be the most like the best person, right? But they're smart and they know what they're doing, and it's a proper way of like really doing this and allowing characters to kind of not get, I guess, what they want at the end of the day, which I really, really like. This is why I don't like shows like Classroom of the Elite or something like that, because the main character is always put in this world with people who you're supposed to look at and be like, oh, these guys are really smart, right? Because he's going at this fucking elite school, but no, he's literally smarter than every other person that's there. and it just makes them out to be more dumb than him, and that's kind of how it feels. And I hate when we do stuff like that because that's so boring to me. So being able to see these other people kind of play parts, and not even just Arisu and her kind of using us, or the sister like being able to in certain ways, but more of even Satoshi and Maika and stuff at the beginning, specifically being like on him about the way that he's kind of saying that this is what the real scriptwriter wanted. This is how things are actually supposed to be. This is what, you know, instead of taking the blame and actually recognizing his own mistakes or his own faults in some sort of way, and not him being able to accept that, but then be able to like hard press him about it because they can kind of see through this in a way, and they're not satisfied with these things. And I mean, even throughout it, they all provided very insightful things at multiple moments just to show you their level of like where they're really at. And I actually really appreciate that a lot. I think that's really cool. Now, also correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the why didn't they ask whatever girl's name is at the end, the thing that constantly kept popping up, specifically makes sense in the grand picture of things here, I guess, because we've speculated before, yeah, that is her friend, right? There's no way that she's like this sickly or whatever that we can't ask her specifically about the script, but I'm assuming she also knew what they were doing and how they were toying with her script and kind of playing with things to the point that she didn't go out of her way to ask it. So either she's not the kind of friend that she says she is, or they were keeping her out of the loop enough that she actually had no idea the things that were going on, or nobody actually ever asked her to go ask, specifically because they didn't want Hongo to get back involved with the script, because she would actually start seeing the things that they changed and the way that they didn't actually like the way the things kind of came about. So I think it was actually that simple of a route. Once again, the conversations that we have here, specifically kind of pressing him about it, this is where we first get to really see it. You see all the other characters, you know, normal lighting and the way that they're shaded, but Ariki, it's very dark. Every single time you see him, his whole body is getting dark here, right? Just to kind of display and show you what's kind of going on with him. And then especially when we get into the conversation with Satoshi here, the deep outlines and the dark like lines and stuff on him here, the shading that they're doing, specifically really bringing that out. And I think that's really cool. Early sign that they were doing. Specifically here, they're talking about narrative tricks and things that are happening. Satoshi getting angry in a way too, because Ariki's somebody that he can kind of look up to in the way that he does, or he's kind of jealous of in these certain ways, but not being able to have him kind of openly express his faults or the things that he does wrong instead, and kind of coming out and feeling like he's being betrayed almost in a way. This person that he might idolize in some sort of way, or look up to, or can't think of the right word, admire, I guess, like the things that he can kind of do, or his ability, not be able to come straight out. And I really like how all three characters here specifically wanted to talk about this, and specifically talk about, was this what Hongo intended? Not, was that the correct way for things to end, but is this what the scriptwriter actually wanted to occur? We find out that's literally not going to be the case, because they've changed it all the way from the start. So you're filling in these multiple holes that are already, these little things that have already been changed. You're trying to use these as clues when realistically they shouldn't have been there to begin with. And it causes a big problem, which is why it made it so difficult for everybody to really solve it at the end of the day. Ariki here realizing, sitting in the crowd, watching himself almost as if he's the puppet in the situation, completely broken by it, is really fascinating way. And then he finally gets his real tick here of like, hey, you got to change the perspective you're doing and the way that you're kind of looking at things here, which is immediately why he's like, I got to confront this girl because she is completely fucking around with everything. And this is when he kind of pieces everything completely together. He still doesn't have the whole play, I guess, figured out, but it also doesn't matter if he has it figured out here, because he specifically needs to kind of come out and confront Arisu about the things that she's been doing and the way that she kind of changed things and the position that she put him in using him. And it's something that really frustrates him. And I think that's really cool. I also like how angry you can visibly tell that he's getting, not just by his voice, but the way that they kind of shift the camera and they're kind of making him shaky and stuff. I think it's really cool. I love when they change the lighting here too. I don't, just because it's cool. Him being able to see the poster too is hilarious to me. Then we get the whole text conversation. I talked about this a little bit earlier, and where I kind of believe everything is. I still have no idea who this other person is, because there's three people in this conversation, unless there's only two and we're seeing it from both different perspectives, and I got that completely wrong, but I don't believe that's the case. And then Chitanda's realization almost at the end. I love how the way that he was like, all right, ask your question, because like she's always so curious about something, and the way that she was just like, what are you talking about? Like, but then plays into him, I think is really cute. And it appears it's kind of who we were suspecting to be involved at some sort of point. Also, it appears Glasses Boy was semi-right with the idea of using the window and everything, but nothing was completely there. But I just like Chitanda's perspective on being like, wanting to understand the narrative in which that the original author was trying to tell, not caring so much about the story or the plot or anything involved, but more so interested in the things that were trying to be conveyed by the original author, I think is really cool. And her way of kind of relating to and connecting to the author, of liking similar types of stories, which makes a lot of sense because Chitanda doesn't like the typical murder or horror stories, right? So it makes a lot of sense why she didn't seem to have a lot of interest in the things that were happening in the previous days, liking happy endings and all those types of things. Overall, like I said, I'm fairly satisfied with the way that this kind of came about. Sorry if the reaction itself came out like rather upsetting or negative. I kind of got really like triggered. I remember at like a halfway moment of the episode, I don't know what exactly it was, when things were moving a little too quick and I couldn't fucking keep up and they were starting to bother me. And then especially when we got to the words on the screen, the text conversations and stuff online, those started pissing me off too. That stuff gets me mad. I cannot level myself back down, so I apologize if that was off. I also have unfortunately been recording these later than I usually do, because I was trying to get some other stuff done, so I'm going to prioritize doing them a bit earlier so I can keep spirits up a bit more going a bit further down the line. That's going to be all from me though. If you liked it all, hit the like and subscribe to mean a lot to me. Feel free to check out the other videos on the channel, leave any comments about this episode or series. Also, feel free to also go participate in that poll if any of those shows earlier interested you and you'd like to see me talk about them or react to them. I'll be back for the next one very soon though. You guys have a good one. See ya.